Imagine a generation.
A generation that sees us
as equal.
Imagine a generation of respect.
of acceptance,
Of diversity.
Of pride.
Of inclusion.
Of courage.
of strength on the field and off the field.
Of friendship.
Of unity.
A generation that leads.
Together.
A generation that learns. Together.
A generation that plays.
Together.
A generation of
Game changers.
This is our generation.
Good morning, Special Olympics Texas athletes, families, and all special guests. Thank you for joining us this morning for our third annual Breakfast with Champions. My name is Tony Trojak, and I am a Special Olympic athlete. I am soon to be 42 years old. I have been a part of Special Olympics Texas for over 25 years. Being a part of the HEB Special Friends Delegation and the Smooth Swing Golf Team. Besides the Smooth Golf Team, Special Olympics has taught me many things where I have met many friends. I have competed in basketball, track and field, swimming, diving, bowling, softball, and I currently compete in bicycling and unified golf. Besides the sports competitions, Special Olympics Texas has let me be a part of ALPS, which stands for Athlete Leadership Program. Here, I have been a member of various committees. I've been part of the Athlete Input Council, an athlete representative on both the state and area sports management teams. What I have enjoyed the most is becoming a global messenger. Here, I received training to be a speaker and an ambassador for Special Olympics Texas. I love meeting new people and enjoy speaking to businesses, organizations, and special people like you here today. Because of Special Olympics, I am more confident and I am a stronger person. Thank you for being part of this special event.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be with you this morning. My name is Nicole Gaby. A little bit about me. I'm Texas born and raised, very proud Texan. Currently, I do work for iHeartMedia as a traffic anchor and producer, and I work for the Frisco Rough Riders as their in-game host. We would like to thank all of you we would like to thank all of the Special Olympics Texas athletes, unified partners, and members of the law enforcement torch run who participated in this morning's procession. Also, a special thank you to the Euless Police Honor Guard and Billy Ray Glass, a Special Olympics Texas athlete from Southlake, for his performance of the national anthem. All right, who's ready to celebrate the inclusion revolution? When Eunice Kennedy Shriver founded Special Olympics, she understood that the people with intellectual disabilities are a vital part of society and that the injustices they face needed to be righted. Today, millions of people continue experiencing exclusion, people of all ages, races, cultures, backgrounds, and abilities. With Special Olympics athletes leading the way, Special Olympics is launching the Inclusion Revolution, a 50-year program that will actively engage everyone, creating real change, because when we all promote equality and acceptance, we all benefit.
Special Olympics will recruit over 2 million new athletes and partners, bring unified school programming to over 40,000 new schools and universities, to empower, to cultivate, and to train 15,000 new athlete leaders globally. We invite you all here to open your hearts and minds, and we ask you to choose to include. We are honored to have filled this room today with individuals who truly believe in this amazing revolution and are willing to act on it. My pleasure to introduce to you all Tim Martin, the CEO of Special Olympics Texas, to acknowledge a few of these special individuals.
You know, I've probably done 100 of these breakfasts, and every time I get nervous because I always follow great athletes like Billy Ray. But now Tony being an MC, the pressure's even more. So with that, bear with me. I always call this our NASCAR moment, but we do have some great partners that support Special Olympics and make sure the dreams come true. But first of all, I want to make sure I recognize our athletes in the room. Can you please stand, Special Olympic athletes? Volunteers, coaches, families are absolutely amazing. Those of us that have been around Special Olympics for years have all sat in airports, canceled flights, ridden buses 800 miles, especially in Texas. It was a little easier when I was in Arizona. You might have a 3-hour drive. Sometimes we have people coming 10 hours by vans to get to our competitions. But the support we get from the community is absolutely amazing. That is witnessed by a breakfast like this. Our Breakfast with Champions committee that put this together, it doesn't happen by accident. It's a lot of work, a lot of recruiting. So can I get the Breakfast with Champions committee to please stand? Thank you. It is very obvious you guys have a lot of friends. Thanks for bringing them today. With that being said, I want to recognize some of our Breakfast with Champions sponsors. Brandt Construction and Mechanical, Steve Hayes, if you're around, I don't know if you're here or not today. Charles Schwab, Patrick Gibbons, the senior manager, Bell Helicopter, Rudy Lopez, a longtime supporter of Special Olympics, and Dennis Kim as well. Thank you so much for your continued support of Special Olympics. Fort Construction, thank you so much. Premier Truck Group, Aramark, Angle and Volkers, Caleb Peace Productions. Those are just sponsors for today's events. We also have regional partners as well. Alcon and Orange Theory Fitness, thank you so much for your year-round support. And then our statewide partners, the Law Enforcement Torch Run, City of Richardson, Coca-Cola, Southwest Beverage. Ish, I don't know if you're here, but that is an amazing relationship. Coca-Cola is the first and the only continuous global partner of Special Olympics. It's been there since day one, so thank you so much. Amera Group, Morgan's Wonderland. In memory of Christy Stanley, they are major contributors to Special Olympics and really support the foundation of all of our youth recruitment programs that we have throughout the state. We also have Texas Roadhouse, just are finishing up, and then tonight, if you want to have breakfast and dinner with us, go to your local Texas Roadhouse. They're doing Tippecop tonight. In College Station, they do it over 4 nights, and they just surpassed $30,000 on their 3rd night last night in College Station. Dick's Sporting Good, Ryan Green, if you're here, we really are appreciative of the new sponsorships that we've gotten over the last few years and the support you've given to the athletes. Toyota, Knights of Columbus, you've been with us through thick and thin. HEB, Tournament of Champions, IBC, with Rob Knight's around, and United Healthcare. Thank you so much to all of our statewide sponsors that are really out there in every community making sure that athletes have opportunities to show their greatness. This year has been an extreme challenge for everybody, but for our athletes, they had a chance to give back and share their experience on how to deal with isolation, how to deal with not having all your daily freedoms. And our athletes did an amazing job in helping us with technology and producing opportunities, not only for us, those of us in the corporate world that were stuck at home and are used to volunteer opportunities and able to get out. Our athletes gave them opportunities and platforms to be a part of that through our technology. We had to change our whole business model, as so many other organizations did. We didn't have a chance to get together like we did this morning, but to see that go forward and see our partners step forward for us was absolutely amazing. But we did have some incredible accomplishments during that time. During COVID, we've had our first unified high school state championship in partnership with the UIL and Special Olympics Texas. That was an amazing event that happened. And if you're not aware, we've went from just over 21 active schools 3 years ago in the unified movement in the state of Texas to this year will be over 600 schools participating in that program. With the UIL and the sanctioned program, we anticipate currently at Special Olympics Texas, we have just about 65,000 athletes. We anticipate that number to be over 300,000 within 5 years. So your support is very important, and we need a lot of volunteers, folks. It is a big lift, and Texas has a big heart, so we're excited to see where we're going with that. But I'm going to tell you, I intentionally left a sponsor out of that, and I wanted to share a story of, it's so important, and we saw them come up with our athletes this morning. But during these times, it's also been very tough to watch our heroes at Special Olympics, our law enforcement torch run, what they do for our athletes. They're always there. And I promise you this is going to be a little winding road, but it's about the isolation and how we got to where we're at, but how I am personally so thankful for law enforcement and our athletes at Special Olympics, but the families as well. So when we talk about isolation, one of the facts that always sticks out to me in the studies is less than 3% of our Special Olympic athletes, while in school, are invited to a birthday party outside of their family. Think about that, not going to a birthday party, but seeing everybody else being invited. So I go back to a story where at my son's 11th birthday, I went to get ice, and I pulled up, and there's a mother sobbing in the driveway. And I said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And she goes, "Oh, yes, I'm wonderful. I just was told that I could go and leave my son." And I'm thinking to myself, man, she's pretty emotional over just leaving her son at a birthday party. When I went in, I met Anthony. Anthony was an individual who has trouble speaking, not good with words, actually did not speak at all. But my wife had said, we got it. Go on, go home. And my son had invited Anthony as a friend from school. That was a magical moment for me to realize what it was like for our parents to get over that self-esteem issue, that knowing that their child is wanted. Imagine living through life wondering, does my child have value or not have value? And you know what? At Special Olympics, they have value. But we're striving to make that throughout the whole community. That story goes on. As my son grew up, he had the heart of his mother, very friendly, great athlete, big strapping kid. But he met the law enforcement torch run officers. And he saw what they did for our athletes. They saw how they were always there. And Trace became a police officer as a very proud father and has been for 4 years now. But the journey with Trace and Anthony did not stop. They remain friends till today. Every Friday, Trace picks up Anthony from the Peoria program, and they go for a ride in his cop car. And Anthony arrests Trace. But I have to tell you, during COVID, the stories we did not hear, the thousands of athletes that had birthday parties, and children that did not have support, the men and women of law enforcement were there every single time we asked. Can you show up at their door? Can you turn on your sirens? Can you make sure they know we care? And so, to you, thank you for being our heroes. I promised I'd make it through that without crying, but law enforcement is the backbone of this organization. They connect all our community pieces together. We hear varied reports in the news. We hear a lot of negative, but I will tell you, the law enforcement torch run officers are the heroes beyond your wildest imagination. So if you could stand for law enforcement real quick and share your appreciation. Well, now I do my introduction part. First, before I get started with that, thank you again for coming out today. It is so great to see people in person again. Thank you again for your support in advance today. Well, the next family coming up are very special to me, but very special to Special Olympics. Randy and Rhonda are best known in the movement as Colby's mom and dad. And I will tell you that the support they give, not only through the law enforcement torch run, but through just an amazing son who overcomes every barrier that's set in front of him. Please welcome the Bannisters to the stage.
On July 3rd, 1986, our lives were changed forever. Not because our son was born with Down syndrome, but because Colby was blessed with the gift of Down syndrome. From the beginning, we were faced with negativity and uncertainty for our son's future from all the healthcare workers we were involved with. But finally, we were given back our hopes and our dreams due to the positivity and acceptance we found in law enforcement torch run and Special Olympics. In the words of Dr. Seuss, "Oh, the places we'll go." And that we did. Colby has taken us on the adventures of a lifetime. As parents, we think of all the things that you want to teach your child. But little did we know, Colby would be the one teaching all of us. And yes, the places we have gone and seen. The lives he has touched and changed. And the people we have met and he has influenced. That is what you all have made possible for not only our son Colby, but for all the other Special Olympic athletes. Our goal is and always has been to recognize ignorance and intolerance of differences and change those to acceptance and understanding. The law enforcement torch run has helped us open eyes, minds, but most important, it has helped us open hearts to give these athletes a chance.
Thank you, Rhonda. In the early 90s, I was a lieutenant with Tarrant County Sheriff's Department, and I had a sergeant that he got involved with torch run because he was a runner. He came back, and he was telling us about law enforcement torch run. And he wasn't real clear about how it worked or anything that when we talked to him about it, but he talked me and Rhonda into helping him sell T-shirts that year. So we helped him sell T-shirts, and we finally learned that law enforcement was the largest grassroots and fundraising for Special Olympics. This was right down our alley since we had a son with intellectual disabilities. Soon after that, I was hooked after we went to a summer games. I'll never forget the rush I had that day. I'll never forget the rush I had that day when I walked out on the field. When the athletes came in and stood beside me, I could see their eyes. I could see all the excitement, and everything was balled up. It was a big day, and it was a big day to be standing next to us law enforcement officers. Some of them, when you're standing there looking at them and you're in uniform, didn't even know what to say to you, because that's how they projected us as law enforcement officers. I remember I never had that feeling before in my life. I wanted time to stop that day when I was on the field. I wanted to take time out to talk to every athlete on that field. Then the music came on, and the whole place exploded. You know, it turned into the greatest party probably I ever been to in my life. I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that time. As a police officer, being part of the law enforcement torch run, we figured out we could draw our strength, our inspiration, and our motivation from the athletes. We are proud to be part of a great movement called Law Enforcement Torch Run.
I want to tell you the same things. Special Olympics has made possible for me. When I was born, the doctors told my parents that they should send me to an institution to live. Someday I would like to get married and live with my wife in our own house. The doctors also told my parents that I would not be able to talk very well. I'll show them. Look at me now. I am a global manager for Special Olympics. The doctors told my parents that I would not swap my open heart surgery. At the time of my surgery, I weighed 25 pounds, and I cannot play outside with my friends. 2 years later, when I turned 8, I started competing in Special Olympics. In 2011, I compete in the Special Olympics World Games in Athens, Greece. I am a world champion gymnast. I won 1 gold, 2 silvers, and 2 bronze medals. Because I have Down syndrome. Some things are not easy for me. as they are for you. Special Olympics has helped me to learn to set goals and to work to reach them. It has opened the doors and changed my life. Because of you, I have the chance to belong. You are all my heroes, and I wanted to thank you for carrying our flame of hope. Thank you for your time, and thank you for having me.
So today, as we stood here and we watched the procession come in this morning, we watched the flame come in this morning. The burning of the flame represents the flame of hope, represents our passion that times must change for people with intellectual disabilities. It starts here today, not tomorrow. So I'm asking all the law enforcement officers and people in here today to carry that flame of hope in your heart back to your families, back to your agencies, and back to your community. Thank you for having us this morning.
Thank you, Officer Bannister, not only for what you have done for Tarrant County, but also your time and commitment to the law enforcement torch run and the passion for our athletes. Though community programs like the law enforcement torch run have gone much further in recent years to respect those with disabilities, Special Olympics Texas believes that much more must be done. In many ways, this means giving Special Olympics athletes the tools they need to shine on their own. It also means building communities that appreciate the unique value of each person.
Thank you, Tony. Special Olympics Texas continues to offer opportunities for athletes to establish healthy habits, life skills early in life, develop positive attitudes toward exercise, fulfill leadership roles, practice public speaking, and close healthcare gaps. With your help, Special Olympics Texas will continue building inclusive communities for our athletes, giving them the skills to thrive within those communities. It is now my pleasure to introduce two friends who have gotten to know one another through unified efforts at their school, starting an official Special Olympics Unified Club at Texas Christian University. Please help me welcome Thomas Lisi and Thomas Parks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Lisi. I'm 21 years old and heading into my senior year at TCU. I'm also an intern at Bell, actually, so thank you to Bell for being here and letting me miss work for a little bit to be here as well. So, just want to thank everybody so much for being here, showing your support this morning. I'm so incredibly honored to be up here and get to talk about Special Olympics and its impact with all these incredible people, and to do it with one of the most amazing people that I know, Thomas Parks.
Hello, everyone. My name's, like Thomas said, my name's Thomas Parks. I'm 20 years old, and I have been involved with TCU Unified for almost 3 years now. It has been an amazing experience because that I didn't know about TCU have a club. So one of my friends named Danny, who couldn't be here today, he introduced me Unified. So I asked him, what's that? So He said it's a club for Special Olympics. I said, okay, cool. So that's when I get to meet Thomas. He's a cool dude. He's like a brother to me. So anyway, but I love being involved with the program. It's awesome. I just love it.
Yeah, so before we were able to cross paths down at TCU as part of our Special Olympics program, my journey with Special Olympics and the Unified Movement began when I was 16 years old. I was lucky enough to have a Unified Champion school that I went to for high school. And they asked me to come play in a flag football game. I had no idea what was going on or anything, but absolutely fell in love immediately. I mean, you show up and you just see people smiling and laughing and having so much fun, just really trying to get to know you and be your friend. And I fell in love. I was all in on the Unified Movement and jumped at every opportunity that came my way. I've had the chance to mentor youth and help other schools in Minnesota start their own clubs, and capped it off with Minnesota competing on the Team Minnesota Unified Basketball Team in Seattle for the 2018 Special Olympics USA Games. Incredible experience, absolutely loved it. Got to spend a week on UW campus. And then a few months later, I came down to TCU to start my freshman year. But I was loving the newfound freedom, and something just didn't feel right. And I realized they didn't have a Special Olympics club on campus. So a few friends of mine and I came together and decided we were going to start one. Flash forward a few months, and we were an official club on campus. We had partners and athletes all rallying behind the cause. And then I think it was at a flag football practice where I first met you, right, Thomas?
Oh, especially, yes, because we hit it right off away, especially because of our names, because Thomas and Thomas, so, yeah.
Yeah, so showing up to the flag football practice, I mean, it was clear that Thomas was a great athlete, but what really stood out about Thomas was how he was including everyone around him, how kind he was to every single person that he had just met. And, I mean, that was just so incredible to see. And yeah, I mean, he's just such a bubbly person, such a great person to be around, and everyone just wanted to be his friend in that first practice.
Yes, throughout the TCU Unify, I have learned how caring college students are, even with the famous winter storm, which I didn't like. It was horrible. Anyway, so Thomas called and he offered to help my family in any way he could, because our problem had been off and on. And so we went to my grandmother's house, so we didn't need the help, but it was so nice to Thomas to offer us any help, because he really cares about my family. So this friendship is more than a program.
Yeah, so that actually came about, I'm sure you all remember, in February when it snowed a bunch on that Sunday, and we were supposed to have a virtual event on that Monday evening. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of freaking out. I mean, I left Minnesota to get rid of the snow, and then now it's snowing down here. I'm like, what's going on? But we decided to go forward with having the event, and I hop on the Zoom, and Thomas is in the dark, huddled up in a blanket, and I'm like, dude, are you good? And he's like, oh, like my power's out. But he's still on the Zoom, and he's still like having so much fun, making people laugh. And
I'm still here.
Yeah, I was like, dang, Thomas. I mean, it was just actually incredible. Like I said, we had to do virtual events for this last year due to COVID, and I'm sure many of you are far too familiar with hopping on a virtual meeting and getting to sit there, and every once in a while there's a little lull in the conversation, it kind of goes quiet, but lucky for me, I had a very, very simple solution, and that was, hey, Thomas, you got any jokes? So Thomas would rattle off 3 or 4 jokes, get everybody laughing, back on track. So with that, you got any jokes?
Yes, sir. All right, are y'all ready for the jokes? All right. Why did the coach went to the bank? To get his quarterback. All right. What did the egg say at the house party? I'm lit. What do y'all call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. I got one more joke to go to. All right. I tried to figure out what drug it was. I lost it. It might take a minute. Hold on. I don't even know what it is. All right, where you call somewhere with no body and no nose? Nobody knows.
All right, so you kind of get a feel for what I'm saying about Thomas's personality and lightening the mood. But we had a unified basketball intramural season right before COVID hit. And I mean, if you think he's funny, you should see him out on the basketball court. He's hitting step back threes, making crazy layups and everything like that. And you know, the day of one of our games, Thomas texted me and he's like, hey, is it cool if my team comes and watches? And I'm like, oh, of course. Like, we love to have people supporting people in the stands going crazy. I had no idea he meant the entire Texas Wesleyan men's basketball team was going to show up. So they all walk into our TCU Rec Center, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And they were going crazy the whole game, going absolutely nuts. And
shout out to Texas Wesleyan. I love y'all.
But that's just the kind of guy that Thomas is. You want to be around him. You want to support him. And when he's out there on the court, he's supporting the people around him. He's encouraging them. He's making sure that everyone's involved, having fun. And I mean, it's really just inspiring to see. So it makes me beg the question, have you ever thought about being a coach of a sport?
Yes. I'm actually a first player who became a coach in the history of Miracle League. Yes. So I want to say thank you to Grace and Coach John and everybody in the Miracle League to have an opportunity to be a coach. I love y'all, and I just appreciate it. I love to be in the organization. I love y'all. And yes, I have been doing that by a month now during the summer. So it was so rewarding. I'm just blessed to be a coach. I'm excited to play and coach in the fall. So I'm just excited. I'm just blessed.
Yeah, that's incredible, Thomas. But that's not the only exciting news that you have, right?
No, not yet. Well, I actually got selected for Team Texas for USA Special Olympics 2022. Yes. So I am going to Orlando at Disney World. It was so cool. I had no idea that Matthew McConaughey actually helped to do the announcement. Then I heard my name. I screamed and cheered. Before the announcement, my mom, she told me, son, you have to watch the whole thing. Yeah, so we watched the whole thing and we cheered when my name was called. And I think she just cried. I think she cried. But my mom did cry. But it shows me that how proud her son who has autism, who couldn't speak since he was 4 years, since age of 4. So I improved throughout the years, through Fort Worth ISD, that I'm the man who I am to today. So thank you, my mom. I love you. Thank you for raising me who I am. And I couldn't be here without you. And one more person, my brother. Thank you, Isaac, throughout the years. Even though you were my little brother, you took the big brother role when I need help the most. Get ready, teach me how to shave and stuff, and taught me how, like, what's a good thing and what's the wrong thing. So thank you, Isaac, for being my brother, and I love you.
Yo! Let's go! Yes! Let's go!
Yeah. That's me. I'm the guy who's cheers. So I'm very excited to go to Orlando. So thank you, my family. I love y'all. I couldn't do anything without y'all.
So, yeah, I mean, Thomas, we're so proud of you. We know you're going to do great and just cannot be more happy for you. But, you know, the Unified movement isn't just about getting selected for the USA Games. You know, not everyone can go to the USA Games, but what it's really about is just taking the time out of your day. Be a kind person. Reach out to somebody. Choose to include someone. You don't know how much that means to somebody. We've heard it a little bit here today, but just giving someone the opportunity because we know that if we can play unified, we can live unified. You know, I don't know what the future really holds. Hopefully I graduate in the spring. I hope to go into a career in sales, but wherever that may take me, I know that inclusion will be there the entire way. And you know, one day if I'm old and have a wife and kids, making sure that they understand the importance of inclusion and respect. And all those years down the line, I know one thing for sure, that Thomas and I will still be best friends.
That's right, man. Best friends. Come on, baby. All right. That's right. We'll be best friends, like best friends forever, until we decrease from Earth. So, well, not like that, but until we get, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we got it. But yeah, just again, thank you all so much for being here, for supporting such an incredible organization as Special Olympics, and taking time out of your day to, at the very least, just think about what inclusion means to you. So
Thank you, Thomas and Thomas, for sharing your stories with all of us. And congratulations on your big accomplishment, on getting selected for Team Texas.
It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage an amazing family who are no strangers to the Special Olympics movement. As a family, these individuals have been advocates for our athletes and our mission. From participating in fundraisers and supporting their sons' efforts, they have shown dedication to our mission and worked tirelessly to help us grow. Please help me welcome to the stage the Witt family.
Good morning. My name is Beverly Witt. My husband Eric and I are blessed to be the parents of two young men, Ethan and Austin. Unfortunately, Eric and Austin are working today, so you'll only be hearing from Ethan and me. When Ethan was in elementary school, he wanted to get involved with sports just like his peers. We tried a few city-sponsored teams, but they weren't a good fit. Then someone at his school told us about Special Olympics, so we decided to check it out. And the rest, as they say, is history. Ethan joined the Mansfield All-Stars, and he remained a part of that team until he graduated from high school. He then joined his current team, the Tarrant County Texans. Being a part of both teams has been a very positive experience. The athletes are well-behaved and friendly. The parents are helpful and supportive. The coaches are patient and kind, making sure to include all the athletes and helping them reach their individual potential. Our heads of delegation, our directors, managers, and other administrators in Area 11, in the North Region, and all across Texas are focused on the athletes and working to create an environment in which the athletes can grow and thrive. While I hoped that joining Special Olympics would keep my son physically fit, I didn't anticipate the other benefits he would gain. Over the years, I've watched the positive impact participating in Special Olympics has had on Ethan. He's developed some lifelong friendships. He's learned to take turns, to help out at practices, to wait patiently, to be a good teammate and a good sport, and to handle disappointment and frustration. He's become more disciplined, more responsible, and has learned to take direction, mostly without complaint. Ethan is a confident young man who appreciates and encourages others. He has truly enjoyed all the speaking opportunities given to him over the years. And if you know Ethan, you know he's never met a microphone he didn't like. Being a part of Special Olympics also had some unexpected benefits for my husband and me. We've been with some of the same families for over 10 years, and we've created a nice support system. We've helped each other out in many ways, physically with things like carpooling and transporting equipment and ice chests and setting up and tearing down pop-ups and playing fields, and emotionally by exchanging ideas on how to handle ARDs and bullies and unacceptable behaviors. We've made suggestions on doctors and adaptive clothing and special needs-friendly businesses. It has been a comfort to share this journey with like-minded families who are so uplifting. Whenever we get the chance, We encourage other families to join the local Special Olympics organizations. It can be a life-changing experience. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ethan Witt. Special Olympics is an organization of fun and friendship. I like competitions and hanging out with my friends. I've competed in horseback riding, bowling, basketball, and hockey. My favorite sports are basketball and hockey. In basketball, I like running different plays and trying for the rebounds. Sometimes I get chosen to be the team captain. That makes me feel happy and proud. In hockey, I've competed on a unified team, on a doubles team, and in singles. It is fun to try to figure out the best way to score points. I like to cheer for my team and pump up the crowd. I have a lot of fun at opening ceremonies. My best friend and I carry the Texas flag and our team flag during the parade of athletes. I like to rock the torch run. I love to win medals. But I will always remember the athlete oath. Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. One of my favorite things is the dance party. After the opening ceremonies. In 2019, I was honored to MC the Fall Classic opening ceremonies at A&M. That was a great experience for me. Last year, because of the pandemic, we did not get to practice or compete. I missed my friends and my coaches. That made me feel very sad and lonely. But then, SOTX started having online events. I was able to be SO active and SO connected. There were informational events, like town hall meetings and podcasts. There were social events. Like bingo, trivia night, and dance parties. There were competition events, like polar plunge, cheer competition, and hockey competition. That was great. But I still missed getting together with my team. Now, Special Olympics is back in person. I'm sorry, Mom. I am over the moon excited to start competitions again. It has been a long time, but I cannot wait to return to play. I want to thank everyone at SOTX who has worked so very hard to get us to this point. I am glad to be a part of this organization. We are SOTX and we are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, WIT family. What a powerful message and amazing example of what can happen when we choose to stand up for what is right, when we choose to make a difference, and when we see abilities rather than disabilities. It's inspiring to hear and to be witness to some extremely triumphant moments in the lives of our athletes and families. We need to remember, though, that this movement, this fight, is not over. Individuals with intellectual disabilities are still routinely excluded, hidden, laughed at, mocked, and made to feel less than. Our Special Olympics athletes and families, teachers, coaches, and all of you incredible advocates of this movement are aware of this. We still have a lot of work left to do for equality.
Now, please join me in welcoming an athlete that has used her successes in Special Olympics to grow not only as an athlete, but as a person. This athlete is one of our healthy messengers and also got her bachelor's in nutrition from Texas Women's University. Please, everyone, welcome to the stage, Mandy Morgan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mandy Morgan. I am a Special Olympics athlete. I currently live in Fort Worth with my mother, Mary, and my father, Wayne, and I work for Aramark at Baylor Grapevine. At Baylor Grapevine, I work as a diet clerk. It is just not me. It takes teamwork to be able to assist the population we are working with. As a diet clerk, my position is to answer phone calls and take people's orders, but it is more than just this. With each phone call, there is someone on the other end, a family member, a loved one, and each one is in a different position. Each phone call is a chance to help a patient, family member, or coworker. Working at the hospital is similar to playing a team sport. Even though you are on one team, you are still interacting and working with other teams and the people you are associated with. At the end of the day, the overall goal is to play the same game as everyone else. We are all in this together. As an athlete, my main membership is with the Special Friends delegation. I have been a member of Special Olympics for 5 years. I compete in bocce, bowling, basketball, swimming, track and field, and gymnastics. As a gymnast, I will be going to the 2022 National Games in Orlando. I would like to share some of my history and what brought me to Special Olympics. When I was 2.5 years old, I was diagnosed with a late speech development and started an early childhood intervention. When I was 3 years old, I started to talk. Due to frustrations and not really being able to communicate well, I started to pull my hair out when I was 6 years old. When I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with trichotillomania, and I was also diagnosed with high-functioning autism at a time when girls were not being diagnosed with autism. When I was 9 years old, my speech became more pronounced and people could start to understand what I was saying. My whole life, I have lived as if I have lived multiple lives. On one side of the line, an individual who has the potential to go to college, and on the other side of the line, someone who identifies with everybody else who has a disability. Growing up on both sides of the line was not easy. I could have been placed in special education courses, but my mother saw my potential, and I went through school in regular classes. Growing up, I did not fit in with my peers, and I did not have many friends because I looked and I acted differently. Most of my friends came from the special education classes. I remember one friend in particularly that to this day, I still view him as my hero. Because even when things seemed tough, he never gave up on me. He would come up to me at lunch when I'm sitting all alone and ask if I would come sit with him. I would find any way I possibly could to come sit with him. Within the first years of college, I started to enjoy learning about nutrition. I was born with a dairy allergy, and over the years, I have gained multiple food allergies. After seeing how my life changed for the better when eliminating these foods, I wanted to learn how food allergies and disabilities go together. Eliminating these allergens gave me the opportunity to be more independent than I was. It took me 10 years to get my undergraduate degree in nutrition with an emphasis in dietetics. My last semester of my undergrad, I decided to become a healthy messenger for Special Olympics, where I can educate about the importance of proper nutrition and advocating for one's own health. One of the main ways I share about nutrition is through maintaining a nutrition website. To reach my goals of becoming a dietitian in the near future, I work as a diet clerk. I also will be starting my graduate degree at Texas Women's this August. I realize that I may not be the image you imagine when you think of someone with Special Olympics. Because when you look at me and know everything I have accomplished, you would not realize that I also have a disability that affects my daily living. But that is one of the best things about Special Olympics. We are not all alike. We have our differences. Because we are a diverse organization that is accepting of everyone. I joined Special Olympics after many years of attempting sports such as martial arts and springboard diving with neurotypicals. When I joined Special Olympics, I finally fit in somewhere, and I was able to be who I am despite the double life I live each day. Special Olympics provides an outlet to relieve the stress and frustrations from work, school, home, and other places we must try to overcome our differences. Special Olympics lets us persevere to new heights in a positive environment so we can achieve goals we never thought we could before. As an individual who is living in both worlds, thriving to overcome differences daily, and yearning for every chance I get to be with my peers, I highly invite you to encourage people with intellectual and/or developmental delays to join Special Olympics. It will change their life forever. I know it has changed mine. Thank you so much for listening to my story and giving me the opportunity to tell you about Special Olympics.
Mandy, thank you for being a Special Olympic athlete and pushing this movement forward. It is so difficult to listen to these athletes and their families without being moved. All of the stories that you have heard today demonstrate the importance of the Special Olympics movement. We are all more alike than different. We are all one of those people. This movement is truly about being and creating a unified future for everyone.
At this time, we ask for you to help us, to keep this momentum alive, to propel this movement of inclusion, respect, and dignity for all forward and create a future where we truly live unified. Look around this room. There are about 400 people here today. If everyone were willing to give a minimum of $150 today, whether through a one-time gift or a monthly donation over the next year, we would be able to bring 400 new athletes out onto the playing field and under the spotlight of a truly unified movement.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are.
I'm asking you, athletes, to show the world what it looks like to lead from the heart. Franny, do you have a message for all the athletes?
I love you.
Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
I just want to make my family proud.
I feel so happy to be able to compete with a group of guys that I love.
They said I would never walk, jump, or run. I just proved them all wrong.
You did good. Thank you. You as well.
We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. Yeah, that's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For your glory.
No matter what your disability is, you can compete, and if you train as hard as you have, you can win gold just like